Every year, there are almost 6 million homes sold in the US. About 1 million of those are purchased as vacation retreats. People love to have their place by the beach, lake, or mountains, and they prefer to have it relatively close to home to minimize the back and forth hassle. As lovely as this setup sounds, with a median vacation home price of $200,000, there aren't many people who can afford such a luxury. And if you're part of the few who can, chances are you don't have the time to be there very often. In a study done among vacation owners in Sullivan County, New York, a popular second home destination, 36% of homeowners use their property less than 60 days per year. This means that each year around 360,000 homes are purchased to sit empty most of the time. Many people, 45% per the same study, solve this problem by either letting their friends and family enjoy it when they're not there, or they rent the property out. Of course, there are alternatives. Instead of doling out the money for a whole property, you could get a timeshare. Buying into only part of a property because you recognize the waste in buying the whole seems like the wise choice. Many people agree. After all, timeshares are a $9 billion industry. However, if their overly aggressive sales pitch leaves you vaguely suspicious, you'd be onto something. The middleman in this setup, the timeshare corporations, are very expensive. Less than 30% of the price of a timeshare goes to pay the underlying property. The rest is marketing costs, administration, or profit. And that's not even the end of it. Think of the steep maintenance fees you'd be billed. There's a lot of middlemen in the middle. Other variations were invented, such as fractionals, which are the luxury version of timeshares, vacation clubs, and condo hotels. All of them have their good success and following, but they all have a middleman that needs to be paid. And honestly, it's a racket. They don't have everyone fooled though. Every year, many people decide to cut the middleman out and go Dutch on that dream home by the beach with their friends, family, co-workers, pets, whatever. In some cases, it works well, but not always. Eventually, politics runs amok. Who gets to use the home during the first week of July? What happens with Cousin Bob when he loses his job and can't pay for his share of the dream anymore? Who's going to tell him that it needs to go? What if he doesn't get the hints and keeps using the home? When do you sell the home? How do we replace Cousin Bob? And that's when you go with friends and family. Nobody half sane would dare to embark on such an adventure with strangers. The middleman may be expensive, but he does quell a lot of concerns. In a timeshare, you could care less about your fellow shareholders. And that got us thinking. Clearly, having a home sit empty most of the year is not a very smart use of resources. And buying what you're going to use is. But how is it possible that your only options are either to pay an outrageous premium to a middleman with timeshares and fractionals, or to start a fight with your beloved Cousin Bob? We researched, and there really isn't that much in between. Enter Go Dutch Clubs, the convenient framework that takes the co out of co-ownership. Say you took the best part about timeshares, the not having to worry about anyone else, and combine that with the best part of buying the property outright, not having to pay for timeshare frills. We'll walk you through the how. The first thing that we did was identify what are the worst problems that people try to avoid. People don't want to deal with family for fear of conflict, and don't want to deal with strangers that they don't know anything about. People don't want to be on the hook if someone else doesn't perform. We needed to find a way to compartmentalize the obligations. People want to have clarity on how the property is going to be used. We needed to find a way to make sure that everyone knows their rights from the start and sticks to them. People want to have maximum flexibility when using their property. We needed thus to find a way to make sure that the process of using the property is not only fair and clear, but also allows for spur-of-the-moment decisions. People don't want to deal with conflict. We needed to find a way to avoid it, and if it happened, to resolve it with minimum disruption. People want to preserve the value of their investment. We needed to make sure that the money spent goes as much as possible to a tangible asset that is tradable in the market. People want to have predictability. We needed to find a way to make sure that the sale of the property is not another source of conflict. And that's how the features of the Go Dutch Clubs took shape. We would make it easy to deal with friends and family by structuring the entire process and anticipating possible causes of friction. Including strangers in your club would not only be possible, but safe when you go through our platform. When you add a property to your club, a gratuitous background check and vetting process is included. We would resolve any default by a club member without involving the others. This is achieved by creating a reserve fund at the time of closing, like what homeowners associations do, and covering outstanding payments until the problem is resolved, like what insurance companies do. Usage would be regulated through our website and enforced by the provision of programmable coded locks, similar to what hotels do. We would provide different usage schemes to accommodate various scenarios. The website also allows for last-minute, spur-of-the-moment decisions. If the home is empty, there is no reason why somebody couldn't use it. Technology makes this possible. We would have a reporting, decision-making, and conflict resolution platform that's easy to use and with a clear set of rules. Changes to the structure of the club and usage of the property have to be voted on by all the members. We would create predictability with regards to when the home would be sold by introducing sunset clauses in the contract that establish an adequate horizon to divest. By vetting, eliminating friction points, and creating predictability, we would create a liquid market for club shares, making it easy to get out and to get in. Now, we are working to make Go Dutch Clubs a reality. Do you want to join this effort as an investor, as a team member, as a consumer? Let us know.